This is Saturday, September the 3rd. My name is Kent Philpott, and I want to talk about Holy Hell. And it was based upon a film that's been released by a fellow by the name of Will Allen, who was part of this weird cultic group. It was called Buddhafield. Los Angeles cult began there, and I understand they're still underway in Hawaii. But it was started by a Michel Rostand, Rostand. He is described as a narcissistic, sociopathic leader. And they were kind of a new agey, Buddhist-oriented group. And this Will Allen spent 2 years in that cult, finally got out and started writing about it. The film was made, and I saw parts of it just yesterday. I wanted to get right on this because it's something that I've been familiar with. A long time involved in the Haight-Ashbury, 1967-72, as a hippie Jesus freak. And I saw so many of those kind of cultic groups. Looked good, promised enlightenment, promised all kinds of stuff, but it didn't deliver. But the leaders were very charismatic, very alluring, claimed to have all kinds of various supernatural powers. Some of the major Indian, Hindu-based big gurus, the power gurus like Muktananda, Sai Baba, and others with this powerful touch. And people thought, wow, I want to be enlightened. I want to get more and more and more and be spiritually aware and mindful and all that sort of thing. There's an allure, sort of anti-religion. People were often raised in Christianity, rejected it as young people, went their own way, and had to find something that was going to be more compatible with where they were at, what they had come to in their life, experiences they had had. And they were not going back to mom and dad's religion. And so they looked for other paths and looked for these individuals who promised a lot, but over the course of time just didn't deliver. And many of these turned out to be various kinds of predators. And this is what happened to Will Allen. He said, the carrot dangled by this Michel, I think I'm pronouncing it right, Michel Rostand, Rostand, says the carrot dangled to all adherents was the knowing, a ritual in which Rostand would transfer his energy to the participant so that they would truly know God. Very powerful. We all have a hunger after God. We may have a hunger for that which we don't have any idea, but it's there. And it surfaces sometimes in moments. It is impressed upon us. And there we are because we don't know our way. So I wanted to talk about this because I have known many people in these circumstances who've been involved in cultic groups. I myself was involved in what I call a quasi-Christian cult and had to spend years getting over it. So I've described the situation, how they got involved in it. They were trying to find themselves on a quest for God. And so you look for people and organizations who promise all of this stuff. You know, the cultic mentality exists in 4 different categories. There's the religious, yeah, no question about it. And there's the political, and abundant in these eras. We've got the way. We've got the only true political understanding. We have the only worldview that's going to work. It could be an economic cult, a pyramid scheme. And we've seen a number of these over the years. And one of the fastest growing areas is what's called the educational / psychotherapeutic cults. And this is what that group that Will Allen was involved in, that he calls Holy Hell, probably was as much an educational psychotherapeutic group because people thought that this fellow could heal them. He could bring them enlightenment. So groups can be in any of these major categories. This is what the experts look at. And little by little, the mind is bent. You accept things that aren't right, are not good. They are morally confused and are destructive, but you give in a little bit at a time to the point that you identify with the group and you can't bear being excluded from the group or being shunned from a group. And so over time, it becomes very powerful. And often the only way of escape is to do something so egregious that you're just kicked out, or the law intervenes, or something happens of a dramatic nature. So, biblical Christianity is not that way. I am a Christian. I am a follower of Jesus. It doesn't make any difference what group you're involved in. And now let me tell you that Christian-oriented, Bible-oriented groups can get into the cultic mentality just as easily. One has to be very careful. So, but biblical Christianity is to follow Jesus as Lord and to focus on Him and not to an individual, not to a group, a church, a denomination, nothing like that. So, this is what we're looking at, and I wanted to bring up because it reminded me again of the powerful allure and attraction that many of these cult leaders have. And you don't want to admit that you've gotten yourself involved in that sort of thing. Very hard to do. But for our own health and our own strength, and in order to have a real relationship with God, we need to be honest about where we're at. The opposite opinion is to move to atheism. I've often said, if I were not a Christian, I would definitely be an atheist, and I wouldn't get involved with any group. But I am a follower of Jesus. I found Christ. He found me. And I'm a part of the body of Christ. And I identify with anybody who identifies themselves as a follower of Jesus. And so that is a safe and a healthy position to be in. So for all of those who may have been shaken up by this Will Allen's presentation of what he calls holy hell, it's a good thing to see it and then to have the strength to move away from it. So long.